This is Jermaine reporting for the P4P Boxing Show. I'm joined by Joshua Frankham. How you doing, mate?
I'm all good, thank you, brother. Yourself?
I'm very, very well. Thank you for joining me today, man. Absolute pleasure. Josh, I want to obviously... No, it's always pleasure. What I want to talk to you about is obviously you went 3-0 on the weekend, Friday night.
Yep.
Moved to 3-0. You're also a 4-time national champion. I want to ask you, how did you first get into boxing and who was your inspiration?
How did I first get into boxing? Well, I was a little fat kid, believe it or not. A little bit overweight, and my dad wanted to get me in the gym. Got in the gym, never really to box, just to lose a little bit of weight. Ended up loving the sport. Always loved the sport from when I was little, because I used to watch the Rocky films. Love the Rocky films.
Yeah.
And got in the gym, started doing a little bit of weight. Had a few schoolboy bouts, and then just carried on from there, really. Just carried on from when I was about 11, 12. Always loved the sport.
Brilliant. So you, obviously, like we said, you mentioned you moved to 3-0 on the undercard for Sonny Edwards' world title fight. Also, you're also making his debut that night was your cousin Levi. Obviously, a good win for him, good win for yourself. How do you rate his performance on Friday night?
I thought Levi done very, very well. He looked very calm. He looked cool. He was. He looked like he'd been a professional for a long time. So I was really pleased with his performance. And I watched mine back when I got home that night. I thought I'd done well. I thought I'd done good. I improved from the last fight. You know, some of these gentlemen are very, very tough, and to get them out of there is very hard. Because listen, they can take punches all night. You can stand there and punch them all night, and they just keep coming. So yeah, I thought it was a good performance. And like I said, as long as I keep improving, that's the main thing for me. That's the most important thing. And I've seen improvements from my first fight to now. So we're going to keep on going and on to the next one.
Brilliant, 100%. Obviously, it's a fantastic night. The main event was actually Sonny Edwards winning the IBF flyweight title. How did it feel to be part of that show? And then how well do you rate Sonny's performance that night? I think I might have lost you there, mate. Yeah, sound. Can you hear me? Hold on a sec. I lost you a bit. Can you hear me now? I can hear. I can't hear you, champ. Well, wait 1 sec. One sec. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I can't hear you, unfortunately. Wait 1 sec. Maybe come out and come back in, see if that works. Go on. Yeah, Josh, can you hear me now?
That's better.
Brilliant. Yeah, so I think we're talking a bit about Sonny Edwards. So Sonny Edwards is a new IBF flyweight champion. How do you rate his performance on Friday night?
I thought he'd done very, very well. You know, to beat a champion that's been, I don't think he'd been beat since like 2008. A proper world champion. You know, I thought he performed very well. Very good performance from Sonny Edwards, and well done to him, new world champion for England. So can't get much better than that. Also being on his undercard on a world title on the card, that's amazing for us. Both me and Levi, it was a great experience. So hopefully I can just keep getting on them good cards, and I'd like to thank Frank for that. So it doesn't matter what card you're on, but when you're on good cards like that, world title fights, and I was also on the Dubois and Joyce fight. It's amazing to be part of that fight week. So you know, I'm blessed at the minute to be getting on such good cards.
Yeah. Obviously, being a part of that show, how much has that given you a motivation and inspiration to go on and maybe become a world champion yourself one day?
Oh, seeing the likes of Troy Williamson on the verge now fight for a British title. Yeah. You know what I mean? It drives you on even more. I know I'm only 3 fights in, and it's a bit of a learning curve still, but seeing them fighters and seeing what they're going on to do is an amazing feeling. So we'll definitely get there one day. We're a bit luck.
100%. Let's talk a bit about the division you're in, the super welterweight division. Obviously, you've got some great English domestic fights, but potentially could happen. Some great fighters in the top 10, 20. Obviously, I'm going to mention a few. Obviously, that's Troy Williams, you just mentioned, Ted Cheeseman, Anthony Fowler, Metcalf. Hamza Shiraz, Liam Smith, Jez Smith, Conway, the list goes on. How does it feel to be a part of that generation of British boxers?
To be honest with you, I've said it in the last few interviews. I think I'm going to be down to welterweight. I think I'm going to be moving down. I'm not big enough as a super welterweight yet. I'll probably grow into that, but I'm definitely going to be a welterweight. But in that list, as a super welterweight, to be honest with you, at the minute, I'd probably say the best. You'd have to say at the minute is probably Cheeseman in this country, because he's British champion. He's beat a hell of a lot of fighters at the minute. I know he never beat Fitzgerald, and I'm sure that rematch will come around, but I thought that was a close fight. Fowler's also good. They're all. It's a tough division. Shiraz is good. I know Kieran Conway is also super welterweight. He's good. They're all good. They're all good at this weight. Troy Williamson, look at the performance he gave the weekend.
Yeah, very good.
So he's another big shout, and that's a good fight, him and Ted Cheeseman.
Yeah.
So that's a very, very hard division. To pick the best is very hard, but at the minute, you probably have to say Cheeseman because you got the title, but it's very hard.
So just to clarify, you're going to be going down to welterweight. Is that for your next up-and-coming fight?
Yeah, I was meant to fight at welterweight the weekend. We had a bit of issues with the opponent coming a little bit heavy. So I had to put on weight a few days before, which weren't too bad. I was eating some steak and vegetables, but I wasn't complaining. But no, we're definitely going to get to welterweight at some point.
Yeah. So obviously, let's talk a bit about the welterweight division. You've got some great fighters there as well. Obviously, the likes of Michael McKinson. Yeah. You've got Chris Congo. Obviously, Josh Kelly, if he does stay at welterweight. You've got obviously Conor Benn, Lewis Crocker. You've got so many great. Chris Jenkins, the British champion as well.
British champion. Yeah.
You've got some great fighters domestically there. If you could one day face one of these guys, not calling anyone out, but if you could one day face one of these guys, who would it be? What styles? Obviously, the styles you have and they have.
I like to fight Jenkins because he got the British title, and that's the one I want. That's the title I want. But obviously, listen, I'm not ready for that yet. Yeah, I will be ready, but not yet. I think Conor Benn's probably going to go on and do some amazing things because his improvements from even his probably 3 fights ago to now, he's improved massively. So I think he's probably the best out of all that crop at the minute in the welterweight division in England, anyway. But like the super welterweight division, there's some top fighters in the welterweight division. Top fighters. Kelly, he'll be back soon. You know what I mean? He took a defeat, but he'll definitely come back. Like you said the other day, he boxed from Portsmouth. What's he called? McKinson. You know what I mean? There's some tough fighters in that welterweight division. So it's booming again at the minute, the British welterweight scene. So I don't know. I'd probably say Conor Benn's the best at the minute. Yeah.
I'll probably echo that at the moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, let's talk a bit about your cousin Tyson. Looking in good shape. This fight obviously is potentially going to happen very soon. Obviously, going to get an announcement. Hopefully, fingers crossed in a couple of days. And Joshua Tyson Fury undisputed heavyweight championship. How confident are you that Tyson's going to become the second undisputed British champion?
Supremely confident. And that's nothing against AJ. He's a top fighter. I've been a great world champion, done some amazing things for the sport and for Britain. But I think he just can't compete with Tyson. It'd be an interesting fight, definitely. But the last few performances for AJ has definitely made me think it's a bit of an easier fight for Tyson this time. If it was a few before the Ruiz fight, like you could say, like how can I put it? I said it the other day in the interview. AJ, I think, has lost the belief in his chin. Definitely after that Ruiz fight. Every time you see him get caught now, he's sort of like very hesitant. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to play a key part in the fight. I think as soon as Tyson lands, it might just be a mental thing with AJ now. I don't know, but I think as soon as Tyson lands, I think it could be game over. We'll see. That's my opinion. But listen, what do you think?
I think it's a 50-50 fight. Like I said, it's heavyweight. It takes one punch.
Listen, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Anything. That's what I mean. Anything can happen with the heavyweights. But you say one punch and it's over. Yeah. And if there's anyone who can do that, it's AJ. He's a big puncher. You know what I mean? But I'm going to be. Listen, if I didn't know Tyson and if I didn't have anything to do with him, I'd still probably say the same thing.
Yeah.
But listen, they're both. It's a credit to British boxing in the minute. Them two. You know what I mean? They're leading the way. Yeah. So it's an amazing event to even have for England. I know it probably might not be in this country, but 2 British fighters, 2 for the unified heavyweight titles. We might never ever see that again.
Yeah.
So let's just all get behind them and hope we have a good fight. I hope it even happens.
Yeah, hopefully it happens. I mean, obviously they're in talks still at the moment. Obviously, Eddie Hearns keeps coming out and saying that's going to happen. He's going to announce it in a few days. Frank's not too sure.
No,
Bob
Bob
Abrams saying Eddie, be quiet, this and that. So I think we just have to be a bit more patient. Hopefully, news will come soon. But yeah, it's a fantastic fight. A fight that's been talked about for years now, and it's going to be great. I mean, obviously, it's not ideal that it's not going to be in the UK, but either way, if it happens, it happens.
As long as it happens, I couldn't care if it happened in, I don't know, anywhere. As long as it happens, I just want to see him in the ring. You know what I mean? What a fight. I'm looking forward to it.
Another massive fight that's happening this weekend coming up is Canelo Alvarez versus one of your mate of yours, Billy Joe Saunders. How highly do you rate Billy going into this fight, and how highly do you rate his chances going into shocking the world in this title fight?
Listen, it's the toughest task probably in the world at the minute to beat Canelo. He's pound for pound #1. He's winning titles in every division. You know what I mean? He's a top boy at the minute. And to go and beat Canelo, you're going to have to be on form. I think the only one to do that at the minute is Billy Joe. If he can do it, I don't know. It's a big ask, but I'm praying to God he does. And he's got the skills to do it. So, and he's proved that before. So it's a very, very hard fight. But I hope to God he can go over there and get the job done. And like I said, bring him back to England. You know what I mean? The whole of England should be behind Billy Joe this weekend. I know a lot of people slag him and write him off, but listen, he's a British fighter. He's going over there and do it for our country, so we should all get behind him. And if there's anyone who's more capable of doing it, it's Billy Joe.
100%. I mean, I believe, obviously, Billy's always looked for this fight for a long, long time. The likes of Triple G, the likes of Canelo, he's always talked about his fights in turn, showing how good he really is. And the fact that obviously moved to Matchroom now, obviously, Eddie's made this fight possible now. I'm sure all he needs to do now is just go to the ring and show how good he really is. And I'm really looking forward to the fight. And perform. So I'm really looking forward to this fight.
Listen, I tell you what Billy Joe is. Billy Joe's a sort of fighter. The better the man in front of him, the more he raises his game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've seen a few performances from Billy Joe where he's looked a little bit flat, but then we've seen performances like the David Lemieux fight where he had all the pressure up against him. Everyone telling him he was going to get knocked out. And look what he done there. You know what I mean? So hopefully we see the best of him this weekend and he can bring them titles on.
Yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully so. Obviously, another massive undisputed title fight is going to be happening this month as well. Is Josh Taylor versus Jose Ramirez. How do you rate Josh's chances of becoming an undisputed champion?
I think he'll win. I hope he wins. He's a nice fellow, Josh. Ben Davison's training at the minute, great trainer. I think he's only going to improve under it. Not that you need to improve Josh Taylor, but I think he'll improve even more under Ben. And I think he'll also bring them titles on. Definitely. I think he's #1 in that division. He showed that by beating Regis Progress, which was a great fight. So I think he'll go on and win. Definitely, yeah. I hope he wins anyway. What do you think?
I rate his chances. I think against Prograis, he looked very, very good.
Yeah, very good.
Very, very good. I don't think Ramirez looked too great in his last 1 or 2 fights, especially his last fight. He wasn't too great.
Who did he fight in his last fight? Was it? I know Taylor beat him already though, didn't he?
Yeah. Was it Postal? Postal?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Postal. And Taylor beat Postal, didn't he?
Yeah. I think it was Postal. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Listen, styles make fights, but I think Taylor should win comfortably. Well, when is it? It's a couple of weeks' time now, isn't it?
It's 20 seconds. Is that 2 weeks' time now? 2 weeks' time.
We've got some good boxing coming up, haven't we?
Fantastic month of boxing. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Brilliant. Obviously, I want to talk to you about yourself. Obviously, I want to ask you, what's the short-term and long-term future for yourself?
Listen, I'd like to go and say I want to be out of the sport in 5-10 years. Unified world champion, millions in the bank, retire. You know what I mean? But I have to. Obviously, I have dreams, but in the how can I put it? It's a long game, boxing. You know what I mean? And I don't want to rush. I'm only a baby. I just want to take baby steps each fight as we come along. The next few years, I just want to keep having good learning fights. You know what I mean? Like the fights I've been having, they're tough men. They're learning me, and I'm improving each fight. So we're just going to take our time. In the end, I'll get there. I want to win the British title. I want to win the world title. I want to win everything I can. But we'll take our time, and we'll definitely get there one day. But at the minute, I'm just going to take my time, baby steps. Like I said, each fight by each fight, we'll be there. We'll get there one day.
Brilliant, brilliant. Josh, I want to thank you for taking the time to join me today, man. I wish you about the best going forward, and I'm sure we're going to speak again soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on.
Cheers, mate. Take care now.
Thank you.
Bye.